I've said it before, more than 40% of Americans cannot afford a $200 emergency. And this is not sustainable, and they know it, which is why they're trying to convince us to work more versus tackling the institutions and systems that enables for capitalism to operate without any safeguards. And when I say safeguards, I mean safeguards for the average American and not just for the corporation.
I have to agree with so much that she has to say. Why are they trying to make this such a normalized thing? When other people, when so many companies are earning so many bonuses, like the corporate CEO for Starbucks, who gets a private plane, he gets to fly to Seattle every day from Los Angeles. But his workers can barely make it. This is a recipe to me for a disaster, but I would love to hear what you think about this, Aisha. Do you really think that this is a game changer for people, or is this a recipe for burnout?
Total recipe for burnout. When she was speaking, I was just thinking about what she was saying, that isn't it funny how they want to repackage just using you so that you can have no life, nothing. So then before you know, you raise your head up, life has gone by. You don't have anybody that cares about you. You don't have a family. You have nothing. You become like a robot because you're there doing one to the other. And before you know it, really burnout to the core. So it's very sad that people actually buy this idea, because what are you running away from? What are you running away from? Are you really trying to collect more material things? Or are you trying to just block the world out so you can just focus on doing rather than living?
And isn't that living? The key word, living. I don't believe we're being put here just to work 24/7. I mean, there's got to be some joy in your life. We have some viewers that are family who have some comments, and I always like to tap into those. And if you haven't tapped in, family, tap into us. Let us know your thoughts about this poly employment. Is this something that you feel is going to be good for our community, or bad burnout as well? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Naomi says, when I work multiple jobs, it's exhausting. Deborah said, exactly, Erica. It sounds very ginish. Ginish. I love that word, ginish. Deborah says, I might have to try this poly work. Deborah, do you think that you would get burned out? We have Booker. He's here from Fort Worth. Great day to you too. And we have Tamisha. Good afternoon. It's a dang shame. This is what things have resorted to. Definitely a recipe for burnout. And then Deborah says, so this corporate slavery in the making. Mm-hmm. Now that's very interesting. Corporate slavery in the making. Erica, tackle that for me.
I remember a few years ago, maybe about 15 or 20, there was a company, and I don't remember the company or where it was, but I remember they had made things so convenient for their employees. They had restaurants on campus. They had gyms on campus. They even had sleeping accommodations for people where they could stay in the event. They had to work late. They had daycare. They had all of these things at work.
Was that Google, Erica?
I don't remember. This was about 15 or 20 years ago.
That's Google, right? Okay.
It was Google.
They were so accommodating. But then when you sit back and you think, it's like, baby, you're living to work. You're living at work. You're living from work. You're living to work. And the entire world has gone on. I mean, you get to the point where you're working so much, you don't know when it's going to rain. You don't know what the weather is.